Hello, everyone. Welcome to another dose of Dr. E and Dr.
P.
I'm Dr. Steve Edelman. I'm here with my good friend and colleague,
Dr. Jeremy Pettis.
and, of course, our esteemed dietitian, Adriana Valencia, who has been in so many of our videos in our video vault and going to be a podcast. And today we're going to focus on, if you have diabetes, what can you eat and snack on?
Yeah, and I mean, it's such an important topic, and we're going to get some advice from Adriana. I mean, we all like to snack. You get hungry throughout the day. And the other thing, I kind of think about is most people eat kind of a small breakfast, or Steve, not at all, kind of a medium lunch, bigger dinner, and then we all kind of mindlessly snack from dinner till bedtime. And so there's all these kind of hidden calories, there's carbs. So how do we help ourselves out by what do we keep around the house and the car that are kind of, and it's not just diabetes friendly, it's just friendly to your waistline, to your weight, to your overall health, and certainly your carbs. So Adriana, we see that you came, prepared today. So tell us maybe about how you talk to people about snacking.
Yeah, I think snacking is a common question. Patients like to ask, do I have to have a snack? Mm-hmm. Do I have to snack? Or I have diabetes, I have to have a snack. And really, that's not true. I would say that typically a good recommendation is if you're going more than 4 hours in between a meal is when you want to incorporate a snack in. And the whole point of that is to really keep you from overeating at that next meal. So if you don't have to have a snack, if you feel that you're doing that for your blood sugars, you should probably talk to your provider about your medication regimen, right? But typically, I would say that you can definitely have a snack if you're hungry, of course. That's where you want to use that. And there's a variety of different options that you can kind of choose from, as we have some kind of options here. These prepackaged little snacks like the Skinny Pop. This popcorn, for example, is only 80 calories and only has 8 grams of carb. So it's a pretty small amount of carbohydrates. I would consider this a pretty low carbohydrate snack, and filling and salty, so it could be a good substitute for like a regular chip, right?
Yeah, I was just saying before we started that I love barbecued potato chips. This is only 100 calories, and it tastes pretty darn good.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And if you could, I love the packaging, portion control.
Right.
And that's key, because I think the whole point is, what can you snack on that's not going to wreck your waistline or your diabetes and help you get to the next meal?
Right. One big thing that when I have somebody who tells me that they're working on weight loss is one of the first things I look at is snacking, because it's easy to overeat on snacks, right? If you had this and then you had some nuts and a cheese stick, you're already looking at, almost 300 calories that you just had, thinking that you just had a tiny little healthy snack. So that's why it is good to be aware of the portion control, which is why these kind of smaller ones have come into play. There is like a little snack size here of like these nuts. These are also good. Somebody had asked a question during our live event about kind of eating on the go. And these are great to keep in your home if you're busy and you want to put in your kids' lunch and your lunch to keep in your car, to keep you from overeating and making maybe those not as healthy choices.
How many calories in that packet?
So this little pack it's cashews, and there is 100 calories in here.
Yeah.
Right? It's a little portion in there.
Not that many.
Yeah.
But it's something.
And I would say nuts can be a good snack because there's protein, there's fiber. They're generally pretty low carb depending which ones you select. The biggest problem is it's really easy to overeat on them. So we have this.
There's a lot of calories in those.
Yeah, there is a lot of calories, right?
I just kind of before we did this, was kind of mindlessly packing away 300 calories.
So for example, this is mixed nuts here, right? And if you have a quarter cup, close to this size, it's about 170 calories and 6 grams of carb.
Good Lord.
So really, it's easy to eat like 3 or 4 of these if you're not, being careful.
Yeah.
So I would really suggest if you wanted to buy this pack of nuts, this is probably actually more economical than buying these kind of portion ones. You could always purchase this and put them in little baggies. That way you already have the portioning done, ready for you to go.
And eat while you're filling them up.
So that's kind of a good thing I would tell patients to try doing.
One for me, one for the bag. Yeah.
But you know what? For me, I don't know about other people, but it does suppress my appetite. Like I'll eat some nuts and I'll say, God, I don't feel like eating anymore.
Mm-hmm. These they work for that because they are high in fat, and fat is filling. So that's why nuts can be like a really good snack. I would say the biggest barrier really is keeping your portion size at bay. So that's why these work well, or like I mentioned, kind of serving them on a plate or a bowl instead of just eating out of the container. So as we've all done.
I think the other thing is eating slow.
Yeah.
And I think what's deceiving is string cheese. It's 80 calories. And, I could eat 3 and not feel stuffed at all. And that's, 240 calories.
Yeah, but I mean, I love cheese, and I do like string cheese too, because I think it is a little bit filling, and like 80 calories, like, really probably 0 carbs or,
Right.
whatever. And then, we have all these beef jerky sticks in the
those are
back,
good.
too.
So these are definitely 2 examples of some low carb snacks. Now, depending on your medication or insulin regimen, your provider or educator might tell you to do low carb snacks. So these are 2 good options for that. They're pretty popular, right? You get some calcium with this, right? You get some protein here. So these can be good snacks to have. You do have to be conscious if you are watching your sodium content though. Same with things like the nuts. Those are kind of the only semi-downfalls to some of these lower calories, lower carb snacks, that they can be higher in sodium. So if you're somebody who's being conscious of that, they do make lower sodium, like nuts, for example. There are some lower sodium types of kind of these preserved meats as well.
Yeah, they taste terrible too.
They're not terrible. Depends which one you pick, right?
The bottle that you have there at the end, I think that's really important, because a lot of things like that ensure the glucerna will say specifically diabetes on it, and people might just think, oh, this is what I should be drinking, or I should drink as many as I can. How do you tell people to approach these kinds of drinks?
That's a good question. I've definitely had patients who feel that they need to drink something like one of these meal substitutes, but it kind of depends on how you use them, right? So if you're trying to get out of the house in the morning and you're busy, this would be great to grab and drink in your car. And it's pretty balanced, right? There's 180 calories, there's 14 grams of carb, 15 grams of protein. This is a good balanced breakfast for you.
That's low carb.
But if you're doing this as a snack, it may end up adding up in calories if you're having it twice a day, right? So it kind of depends how you're using it in your meal plan. This obviously 180 calorie snack could be better than having a big bag of chips. So it kind of depends how you're using something like the glucerna, but it can definitely be a good part of a healthy eating regimen, I would say.
Well, just as we get close to the end, these are peanut butter filled pretzels.
That was full this morning.
Yeah. And, 10 pieces is 140 calories. And if you eat them slow and maybe have a cup of coffee or a diet soda with it or anything non-caloric beverage, that's not bad.
Right.
And, Jeremy and I love peanut butter.
Yeah.
Okay. Lastly, what about fruit? What about eating a big old apple that might be filling, have a lot of fiber in it?
Yeah, fruit can definitely be a part of a healthy diet. I would say that for fruit, you want to consider pairing your fruit with some kind of protein. So like ideally you would do like half of an apple with your string cheese, right? You're looking at more of a carb protein balance, and it's not going to spike your blood sugar as rapidly, and it's going to keep you full longer. So I would say like apple with a little bit of peanut butter or a string cheese would be a much better choice than just an entire apple, just for balance overall.
Yeah. So I think, you have to find what doesn't wreck your blood sugar, a good balance between protein and carbs. It takes away your appetite before you get to your meal where you eat everything in sight.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And enjoy it.
Right. Should be something you enjoy having for sure.
Okay, everybody, we're going to eat all this as soon as they cut the camera.
Take care. Thanks,
Bye.
Adriana.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.